Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we got some news here and I want to talk about this video here, and I want to just say this. The Gacha community, the Gacha companies are betraying their players for money. Now the Gacha company, you know what they do all the time. I see it all the time. I play Gacha games too, but you know, we're gonna talk about something. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for every upload to the channel. Let's get this going. We're gonna talk about this right now. So, Infinity Nikki players are boycotting the game. Now, what does boycotting is? Well, boycotting is more like betrayal by the company, and the company turning their backs on their players. And this is what the devs and the whole team that works there, this is what they're doing to their game. The Gacha company, right, that made Infinity Nikki, they betrayed all their players. They increased the pity system to 2020 higher on the price. They increased it again to 11% higher. They increased the prices for the outfits and for the character. Again, that's what we're going to be talking about here. Let's keep it down. Oh, my bad about that. 3 days, however, Infinity Nikki's reception is the more mixed, despite... Okay, so... yeah, this is on mobile, and it just happened 5 days ago. The new 1.5 update for Infinity Nikki has upset many fans. True, this is what's happening on Infinity Nikki. This isn't the only game. Black Beacon had another issue. They betrayed their players too. Now, Black Beacon is another game that I've tried playing on mobile. It's a great game. I enjoy playing it. But they also did a big mistake, that they also got a backlash. And for one reason is that Black Beacon had favoritism, only glorifying the Chinese players and not glorifying the global players entirely. So that was the backlash, that we wasn't going to get the rewards and the Chinese players were getting the rewards. And so it was kind of like favoritism, and the game had a massive backlash and betrayal because the management team for Black Beacon was kind of a little bit of a, I really don't want to say this, but it was kind of racist to some degree. But just keeping it in a buck, you can't take these Gacha companies seriously. Do not trust these Gacha companies, because they don't care about their players. They're just here just to make money, and we get that. We do need companies to make money to some degree. But if you're gonna be making a game and then you're gonna trash your players and treat your players like garbage, and you expect them to give you money back, is not gonna work out. Because these Gacha companies, they do not respect their consumers, their players. They don't respect them at all. And this is why Gacha companies should not be taken seriously. You can't trust these companies all the time. So you have to be careful when it comes to playing Gacha games, because Gacha games, they want you to spend money. They want you to, you know, put in more money into the game so they can keep making content on the game for you to play. But sometimes that doesn't always work. And this is why Infinity Nikki here is receiving a massive backlash 5 days ago. And the reason for that is because Infinity Nikki was increasing the prices. They did it twice. They increased the pity system, doubled it twice, and this is not good. That made players very angry. Also, they changed the beginning story of Infinity Nikki. So like if you're a new player and you're trying to play Infinity Nikki, the first beginning of the story has been changed. They changed it, and then they put bugs and glitches in the game where people cannot install. I wouldn't say install, but they can install it, but they can't play it or log in because there was massive issues with the changes what they did to the story. So this is what's happening to Infinity Nikki. And this is what people are talking about right here. The Infinity Nikki features Gacha system, pity system. Now this is the pity system is what they were talking about, you know? They increased the pity system. They want you to spend tons of money on this game. But they put massive bugs and glitches in the game where people can't play it, and they increased the pity system. And they did it twice. So now, Infinity Nikki is receiving a massive backlash and betrayal from the Gacha company who made Infinity Nikki, is trashing all their players, treating them like garbage because they don't want to give, because the players don't want to give any money out to the company for this backlash and what they're trying to do for their game. They do not care at all. No remorse. They just here for just the bag, the money, right? And this is not good for Infinity Nikki because a lot of games are out there now. If you're playing a new game, be aware when it comes to new games. You can't take these new games seriously all the time. You know, especially like when it comes to console games. If you take a look at Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? They did some horrible things to Assassin's Creed Shadows because a lot of people out here are not noticing. They keep glorifying, you know, Assassin's Creed Shadows. But don't get me wrong, the gameplay looks pretty good in Assassin's Creed Shadows. Some things that may look good to that game, but there are some backlash to Assassin's Creed Shadows. But that's not the whole point of this video. I'm just giving you an example here. This is the reason why Infinity Nikki is going down. And to be honest with you, they changed the outfits. And this is the players what they're seeing in game. Now, for this 1.5 update, it says here, Infinity Nikki 1.5 update, they will all feature dresses will be broken up to 11 pieces because of this. Players will now have to buy a maximum of 220 pulls in order to get a complete dress, which makes the outfits a lot more pricey. So what do you mean by 220 pulls? That is the pity system. The pity system, they increase the prices for the game. So they want you to spend so much money in the game, and you got to do so many pulls to get one dress, one featured dress. That is crazy. Okay, now this is what I'm talking about, the pity system. A lot of games nowadays, especially Gacha games, they have a pity system. And if the devs or the company increases the pity system, the game gets worse. Because people are not going to spend thousands of dollars on a game that the company do not like their consumers at all, or don't even have the respect for their players. And this is why Infinity Nikki is dying. It's completely dying. These devs, these people who work there in this game Gacha company, they do not give two dams about their players. And I'm just being honest here. This is the truth, and this is what's happening right now. is that they increased the 220 pull rate for the pity system, which is the prices. They doubled it twice. And this is not good because it's getting pricey in these games, and these companies are signing these contracts to say, hey, we're going to screw the game over, we're going to screw players over, we're going to betray them. That's the contract that we're signing into. And this is what the Gacha games companies are doing to their players. Betrayal. So that's the whole point of this video, is why I'm talking about this, because I want people to be aware that new games are just not as exciting as they once were, because these Gacha companies are trashing their players. A lot of Gacha companies are doing that now. That's also happening for console games too. A lot of console games out there are most likely are not in the right place either. And we know how Sony is, we know how Microsoft is, and we know the prices increases and everything like that. But these mobile games, now, let's be honest, mobile gaming has came a long way. Mobile gaming is a lot more fun. It's a lot more enjoyable because you get to download free games where you don't have to go to GameStop and buy a console game. Yeah, sometimes it is worth it to, hey, let me go buy a cheap console game, play it on my console. Yeah, I mean, I do. Everybody likes physical copy games, right? But here's the thing. I think mobile game has become a lot more popular. And it's more fun to play on mobile than it is playing on console. Because playing on mobile is more relevant than it is for console. And the reason for that is because on mobile gaming, you get to play that game on the go wherever you want. And that's the reason why mobile gaming is becoming more popular, is getting better. More games are coming on mobile. A lot of console games are coming on mobile, so technically we know how this is. They've been going on for this for years. But here's the thing though. These games pity system is really bad. These Gacha companies are really bad on pity system. I mean, if you take a look at Dragon Ball Legends, like Dragon Ball Legends pity system is garbage. It's like the worst pity system in Dragon Ball Legends history. Is diabolical. You know, I want to say that. And the reason for that is because, hey, they want you to spend so much money on this game for you to get a featured character, but at the same time, in Dragon Ball Legends, it's so hard to pull a featured character. You got to spend a lot of money and a lot of Chrono Crystals in order to summon the character you want. But the pity system in Dragon Ball Legends is so bad. Like, it's so bad. That's why I don't really like summoning in Dragon Ball Legends, because I know how these pity systems are. They're really garbage. Sometimes they're 50-50, sometimes they're not. Take a look at Withering Waves, right? You know how Wither Waves banners, some of the banners are 50-50 and stuff like that. But sometimes when it comes to these games, like the pity system is so bad, bro. And it's like so petty. It's crazy, man. These Gacha companies need to do better. They really need to do better. They need to listen to their players, because this is the whole point of creating games in the first place, especially online games. The devs have to listen to their players. If they don't listen to their players, their game dies, because the company is making the game to push it out to their consumers, and the consumers get to decide whether the game is good or not the company. The company makes the game, but the people are the one who judges the game, because that's how it's supposed to be when it comes to making a game and publishing it out there for new people to explore on these new games. Now, I think in general that these Gacha companies need to do better. Like, they really need to do better on their pity system. I mean, if you take a look at Withering Waves is succeeding so far. I like the game, it's so fun. But You cannot take these gacha companies seriously. And the reason why you can't trust them 100%. You can trust them, but you can't trust them 100%. I would say give them like a 25% trust, because we know how bad gacha companies are when it comes to making their games, whether it's on mobile or console or PC. We know how games are. We know how these companies run. People are not stupid, you know? And this is the reason why gaming has came a long way for mobile, and not just console and PC. Yeah, we may have a lot more PC gamers, we may have a lot more mobile gamers, but console gaming is becoming far more less. And this is the reason why gacha game companies are betraying all of their players for the most despicable hatred. I don't know what it is, but these companies, man, they have some sort of insanity that these people be working in these companies, bruh. Like, it's so bad that these gacha companies do not take their players seriously on how their game is supposed to be functioning. You know, you have to be careful with these gacha game companies. Like, they need to do better. Like, these pity systems and these pull rates, they need to do better, man. I mean, let's be honest. Black Beacon, man, the trust is building back up on Black Beacon, but people aren't gonna forget how the management team in Black Beacon betrayed their players by not giving players the rewards, but only giving it to the Chinese players. So that's one thing here. Infinity Nikki, the devs and the people who work at Infinity for this game, Infinity Nikki, they do not give two damns about their players, their consumers at all. They do not give no damn. They're just here for the money, and then trashing all their players, disrespecting them, and then now all the players are destroying this game. This game is completely dead. It's like a 1.5 star on Google Play right now, and it's dropping. It's dropping. I mean, this game is going to be completely dead, and by the time this game gets completely dead, this game is going to get deleted off the Google Play Store. It might, never know. But like I said, these I'm just being honest. These gacha game companies need to do a better job on actually listening to their players and supporting the game and improving the game that the devs are supposed to be doing when it comes to these gacha games that they make. We, as players, we are the judges of the game, how the game is supposed to function, how the game plays out. Is there bugs and glitches that needs to be resolved? There's so many rewards that needs to be implemented for the games. You know, and that's what these gacha game companies need to be doing for their players. Problematic enough, Unfold Games has also retconned Infinity Nikki opening scenes and replaced them with a new Sea of Stars level. And it says right here, new opening to be a massive downgrade over the original and the large start because it relegates the popular quest exclusive characters. Now it says right here, side roll and completely changes the tone of the game. Some fans consider less sudden story changes to be a sign of poor post-launch planning on the developer's behalf. Now, this game that these devs are not doing for their players is that Infinity Nikki's devs are trashing their game and trashing their players at the same time because they don't give two damns. They just here for the money. And this is, everything is shown right here. This is what the devs are doing. You know, these gacha game companies. They need to do a better job. Now, they did give an apology letter, but it was not a true apology because they just increased the pity system again. They gave the first apology, and it was a garbage apology because it wasn't really a sincere apology. And then the devs, a few days later, the devs increased the pity system again in Infinity Nikki. And this is bad because people are not liking where Infinity Nikki is going. And there's other Gosh games out there that are in the wrong path. Like, they need to do a better job. And these Gacha game companies, man, they need a lot of work on improving their games. They need a lot of work on listening. They need to put a lot more work into what they do when it comes to making games. Is that they're supposed to listen to their players, because the players are the ones who judge the game and judge how the game is supposed to function and everything like that. So now that the devs do not, Infinity Nikki's devs do not listen to their players at all. So this is the reason why their game is a backlash. And if you can go Google Play right now and look at it and type in Infinity Nikki, you will see that stars is about a 1.5, and it's dropping because the backlash that this game is having right now, that these devs are not listening to their players at all. They do not give a damn. So this is what they're saying right here. People are saying that Infinity Nikki is a letdown. It's a disappointment because the devs are not listening to their players. And this is why this backlash here is happening. Black Beacon got his backlash. Now Infinity Nikki's got a backlash. And now another mobile game got another backlash. And those devs do not care about their players either. So these Gacha companies are now signing contracts to screw the game over, destroy it, and then trash all their players. I don't know if it's a real contract or not, but I'm just guessing. Just as a speculation about that. But these are what the devs are doing on all these games, whether it's a mobile game or a console game. It doesn't matter. If the company is not, if the devs are not listening to their players, the game is cooked. The game is screwed. The game is dead. And this is what happens when it comes to Gacha games in general in 2025. You cannot trust these Gacha game companies too seriously. You have to be careful when it comes to these games. Now, have I ever played Infinity Nikki? Yes. Do I like the game? No. I just tried it out and see what was different and what the whole point of the game was. But I don't play this game at all. I don't have this game installed. I just only played it for like a couple of days, and then I deleted the game because I knew that the devs were actually gonna trash their players. Because I had a feeling. I had to know. And coming to find out, yes, the devs did trash their games and destroy Infinity Nikki. And this is the reason why I do not want to play all new games all the time. Now, there's a few new games that I do want to play, but some games I choose not to play. If it's a new game, I sometimes just choose not to install it because I know how these companies are when it comes to these new games. They like to throw their games out the window, and I'm just being honest. And this is the reason why, look, Infinity Nikki is a 9.0. That's pretty good. But if you go on Google Play, it will be a 1.5. Now, why? I just showed you what they were doing. Increasing the pity system, trashing their players, because this is what people are experiencing. This is what the company is doing. And what people I see here, people are saying that the devs for Infinity Nikki do not care about their players. They just here for the money. And that's it. So they're trashing the game, trashing the players, and then take all their money. And that's basically what the people are saying. and then the devs come out with an apology, but the apology is not sincere because they increased the pity system again. So that's basically what they did. So now you can't necessarily trust, gacha game companies 100%. A Hoyo Shell, or a Kurobot, or whatever you call yourself, y'all need to get some help. And these gacha game companies need to put some work in to start listening to their players. That's what they need to do. Problem solved. There you go. And to be honest with you, they need to do a better job. So, when it comes to new games, make sure you pay attention to what the devs are going to be or putting out in their game. When it comes to a new game, you need to figure out if the devs care about their players or not. Whether they listen. If they don't listen and what they do for the game, leave the game. Destroy it. Make sure that these gacha game companies listen to their players, because like I said, if these gacha company, if they don't listen to their players, their game is dead. It's cooked. It's over. They need to do a better job. So see you guys in the next video. What do you guys think on these gacha games that they need to work on in listening to their players and actually make the game great, and allowing players to spend good amount of money on the game where they don't have to spend too much and stuff like that, and have the best experience for these games. So see you guys in the next video. Peace out.